Welcome to Arthos, where ancient wisdom meets modern understanding. The first word of the Bhagavad Gita is not from God. It doesn't begin with the blowing of a conch shell. It begins with a man's fear, with the attachment of a blind, flawed, frightened father who himself caused this war. He turns to his most trusted man and barely whispers, "What is happening there? What are my sons doing?" This scene happened 5,000 years ago. Not in a boardroom, but on a battlefield. And that blind father's single question became the first verse of humanity's greatest spiritual text. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita. This is episode 1, The Blind King Asks. We are stepping into the very first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's despair. It is a journey we will take across 7 distinct episodes. And this is where everything begins. Part 1. The Silence of Kurukshetra. Before reading a single verse, you need to feel where you are standing. Imagine that vast battlefield of Kurukshetra, where for miles, millions of warriors stand, waiting for death, alongside chariots, elephants, and horses. There is a strange heaviness in the air. Amidst the clashing of weapons and the neighing of horses, there is a silence, like the one right before a massive storm. The most terrifying war in Indian history, where the same blood is split into 2 factions. On one side, the Kauravas, intoxicated by power. On the other, the Pandavas, standing for their rights. But truth be told, the Bhagavad Gita is not the story of this bloodshed. The Gita is what happened between 2 heartbeats. The armies aligned and the first arrow was shot. A dialogue between a great warrior on the verge of breaking and God who became his charioteer. Dhritarashtra sits in the palace. He is blind, he cannot see the battlefield. Therefore, sage Vyas gave divine vision to his minister Sanjay. Sanjay can hear the trembling voice of every warrior's mind from miles away. And the first verse of the Gita does not belong to that divinely sighted Sanjay, but to that frightened, blind king sitting in the palace. Part 2. The words that changed the world. Now let's listen to that verse which forever changed the direction of the world. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetra samaveta yuyutsava. Mamakaha Pandavas chaiva kim kurvata Sanjay. In very simple language, this means, O Sanjay, on the holy land of Kurukshetra, gathered face to face with the desire to fight, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do? Pay attention. Here the king has called the battlefield Dharmakshetra. Where humanity is at stake, he is calling the land of righteousness. This is a profound irony from sage Vyas. This is not just a question. These 45 Sanskrit words reveal the anxiety and restlessness that resides in the mind of a culprit. And to answer this one restless question, it will take Lord Krishna the next 699 verses. Part 3. The Root of Blindness. Looking from the outside, this seems like a simple question from a father. But his question is not who is winning. His question is simply this: what did they do? Pay attention to this one word. Mamakaha, meaning my sons. Mine and theirs. In the very way he asks the question, he has chosen a side. This is a family that is tearing itself apart. And the man who could have stopped it is blind. Not just with his eyes, but with his heart. The man who is speaking the word Dharmakshetra is the very man who abandoned Dharma first. This mine-ness. This is the root of blindness. This is the root of every war. When a person starts calling someone a mine, he stops seeing the truth. Part 4. The Mirror of the Gita. Adi Shankaracharya ji said it very rightly. The Gita does not begin with the knowledge of God. It begins with the delusion of a human being. And this is no coincidence. Until we accept the delusion within ourselves, the birth of knowledge cannot happen. A man who was blind, who was afraid, dared to ask. And this one instance of courage gave humanity the wisdom of 700 verses. From episode 1, take just one thing with you today. The Gita is not a book that you read. It is a mirror in which you see yourself. And the first mirror is the question of a blind king. In the next episode, we will step straight onto the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where Duryodhan stands among his army. He will speak, but the truth is that the person who speaks the language of highest confidence is often the most terrified inside. See you in episode 2.